After being called out by Jim Montgomery, this Boston Bruins team really turned it around and got a much-needed character win against the Florida Panthers last night. Now, as tonight they play the Tampa Bay Lightning, there's not going to be too much changes, not too many changes that the Bruins are going to make, so we're going to be talking about the game here. Then following that, you're going to want to stick around to see what this Bruins team has in store over the next few games and weeks coming into the playoffs. So we're going to be talking about all of that here in this video. Before we do, though, we notice that 95% of you guys watching right now are not subscribed to the channel. If you're looking for a spot to get all your Boston Bruins news, you're in the right spot. Make sure to hit the sub button so you don't miss out on any of the breaking major Boston Bruins news that will be coming up into this playoff run and into the offseason. You'll be the first to know, and we'll keep you guys updated as things happen. But like I said, let's get straight into this game. This is a very character win by the Bruins. An old school Bruins win, I guess you could say, and one that they needed to really do. There's a lot more physicality in this game. There's a lot more offensive skill. There was just a lot of everything the Bruins have been lacking over these past few weeks, and they seem to completely turn the things around that they've been missing out. And I think that Jim Montgomery quote really got to them, knowing that this is going to be a really bad situation if they do not get ready for the playoffs. But I'll pull up the box score here. Once again, it's always at the bottom of the screen as I'm talking throughout this video when there are no screenshots up, if you don't want to pause here and take a look at it. But, I'm just going to give a quick shout out before we get into all of the other stuff about this game to a few players here. One being, I want to give him is his props. Hampus Lindholm didn't have the best of games. I'm not going to deny that, but the -2, we can disregard that for the fight that he got, increasing a bit of physicality, although he did severely lose that fight. But also, the block shots and the play he had near at the end of the game, played very well then. You got to give him credit where credit is due. Although those 2 goals were not exact when he was on the ice, was not exactly in his favor, he did very good here at the end of the game. But as well, not too much to look at apart from, Pasternak, Zacha, goal and assist each, and it was a pretty, defensive game, even though the score was what it was. It wasn't anything that was 2-1, 3-1, 1-0, or anything like that. It was still a pretty high score, but a lot of defense in this game. I'll pull up what I have here for the game stats. You can see only 21 shots on goal for each team, and just about even faceoff percentage at 51-49. But you can see there, the hits, 51 for Boston, 40 for the Florida Panthers. The Bruins engaging in that physical activity in a much-needed, turnaround from what they've been doing over these past few games, like I said. And as well as the block shots. Really getting in front of that net, trying to block everything they can, trying to get out a gritty win, nothing that's going to blow your socks off in the offensive category, but once again, just another very good good game. Let their talented players work the puck and use their talent, and let everybody else do what they're meant to do. So, once again, a very, very good good game for each side here. But I do want to show this as well. This is from yesterday's games across the NHL. Top 5 skaters. This is from Hockey Stat Cards. Pavel Zacha, David Pastrnak, once again, 1 goal and 1 assist. Each of those guys made it into this one. But the bottom 5 skaters, you can see Brandon Carlo and Hampus Lindholm. That defensive pairing really has not been, lucky in these past few games. They've definitely made a few mistakes, but Hampus Lindholm, made up for what he's done in this game, what he's done the last few games, in being on the ice here the last few minutes, protecting the net and doing everything he could to avoid Florida Panthers comeback. So, like I said, got to give credit where credit is due. He definitely made up for that stuff there, but you can see as well, not too great on the actual the stat card. Lindholm, Carlo, the bottom 2, and Pavel Zacha, David Pastrnak, the top 2. A lot of mediocre in between. Parker Wotherspoon, another player that has definitely made a significant impact since his return to the lineup. I think he's one player that definitely needs to stay there. He's definitely one player that needs to stay in this lineup at this point. Although he don't have the age and the experience, he's definitely shown that he's ready to take this next step and stay into this team. And as well, one more player before we get into what's upcoming for the Bruins, Charlie McAvoy. First goal in 10 games, very well-produced game from him, a very well-structured game and solid game for him, and he seems to be back to the Charlie McAvoy we know and love here on this Bruins team. So if this can continue from the Boston Bruins, this is the team that needs to go into the playoffs. This effort, this physicality, everything that they did in this game, minus a few things here and there, but nothing that can't be fixed over these next few games or heading into the playoffs. But as they do head into the next few games, and tonight's game against the Tampa Bay Lightning, they have a very tough road trip upcoming. You know, a lot of teams that are on a hot streak, a lot of very good teams as well. I'll pull it up here. As you can see, these are the remaining games they have for this season. The Tampa Bay Lightning tonight, running into a hot Washington team twice more this season. Carolina twice this season. Another big comeback from Nashville there last night as well. They're kind of riding a high right now, and another game against Florida. So, you know, realistically, out of these games, they might have only 2 games that can, not be very close, I guess you could say, in Pittsburgh and Ottawa. But once again, this is still the NHL. You can't take anything for granted, and you definitely can't, think you're going to win going into the game before it actually happens. So this team is going to need to continue what they're doing. Keep Jim Montgomery's words in mind that this is not going to be an easy task. They can easily go back to what happened these last few games over the week or so, where they've been, not being able to keep up, not engaging in physicality, losing puck battles and everything, knowing that this can be at the snap of fingers back to what they're doing. So they need to keep Jim Montgomery's words in mind. Think about how that felt when he said that this team is not ready for the playoffs, and go back into this rest of the season before, anything turns around, and before they head into the playoffs, make sure they know what they need to do. Make sure they know what they're doing before anything, anything changes going to the playoffs. So once again, I'm going to pull up these ones more time. You can see right here, I would say these next 6 games, very, very tough matchups, very possible, playoff level hockey games that we're going to be seeing here. And this is going to be a really true test of what the Boston Bruins mindset is going to be going into these playoffs. A lot of road games, only 3 home ones too. So we're going to be seeing, like I said, very, very tough matchups here. It's really going to indicate what the Bruins' mindset, how their play, how they feel going into this playoffs is going to be and throughout these games. It's going to be a real test about the starting goalies as well, what line matchups are working, who's working well together, who might not be. We've seen the line of Carlo and Lindholm, that line not be great. I said that we should change them up a bit. I didn't mean take them out of the lineup. I meant just put them in a different scenario, maybe a change of scenery for a game just to see how it works. Those two are some of the most experienced players on this team right now, so you can't really afford to take them out, but I don't know about keeping this pairing if things like this are still going to occur, where, especially in this game too, this great game by the Bruins, they still couldn't end up being a solid line to help out in a win here. So it's going to be something to watch over these next few ones. The game tonight against the Lightning is going to be a very big one as well. Atlantic rivals, a very tough matchup. So I'll be keeping you updated here. If anything happens tonight in major, I'll have another video tonight. If it don't, expect another video tomorrow, just like this, covering the game as well as all of the other Boston Bruins news that we are going to have there. So make sure to hit the sub button if you don't want to miss that, and if you want to stay up to date with all of the Boston Bruins news. But that's all I got here. Thank you for watching. If you did enjoy, make sure to give the video a like. Lets me know you're enjoying the content, lets me know you're keeping a good eye on the Boston Bruins. But thank you for watching. That's all I got. See you later.